Welcome to the fifth and final installment of this series of Fashion Fridays. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I have shared with you now for 5 consecutive Fridays some type of fashion related post, and I always said it might be a video, it might be a photo, and if I'm feeling spicy, it might be both. Well, I guess I wasn't feeling so spicy because you got videos and not photos, but you got something for the past 5 Fridays. And for the final installment, what I'm going to do is show you how to wrap this beautiful Mulfa. This is a gorgeous piece of fabric that my husband gifted to me from Senegal. It is very, very long. I will leave the dimensions either below or somewhere on the screen for you, but if I remember correctly, it is about 4.2 yards by about 1.5 yards. So a lot of fabric here. Look at this. Even the width of it is about from the floor to my shoulders. It is super long. We're going to start at the beginning here to give you an idea. Look how long that is. So this is one of my favorite things to wear. I have a mini collection of Mulfas, and I'm going to show you how I wrap mine. So the first thing I suggest is starting with a base. You definitely want a base. Mulfas, sometimes they can be thin. This one is slightly thick, and when you wrap them a certain way, the wind can blow them, so you definitely want to be properly covered underneath. You can definitely just start with a dress like I have on. You can do a skirt and a long sleeve top, or a pair of loose pants and a long sleeve top, but just something that's very comfortable. If you can see here, the dress that I have on is very, very wide and flowy at the bottom, so you want to make sure you are able to move. So what you're going to do is go ahead and grab one end like this. And I usually start this way, meaning I usually knot it over here on the right. I think because when I first learned how to do it, that's how I learned, and it just kind of stayed with me. So you can do it on the opposite side. It's just, it feels weird for me because I always do it this way. So you're starting like this. What I usually do is go ahead and just tie one knot, get a little closer so you can see, and then a double knot. You want to make sure that's very, very secure, and I put it above my bosom so it can hold very nicely. There you go. So that's our first step. You take your super duper long end here, and I wrap it in front, and you can make this part as loose or as tight as you want. The longer your Mulfa is, the more loose you can make this part, but if you have a short one, then it might have to be pretty tight to your body. We're going to go behind. Let me turn sideways so you can see. So I'm just holding it here. I'm just going behind like this. Then once I go behind, I'm going to just take this and bring it over my head. So this is your built-in kamar, your built-in hijab. It's a built-in scarf. There we go. And so I just throw this to the back so it's comfortable, so you can move your arm up, down, around. You want to make sure you have movement here. And then if you want a lot of security, you can grab a magnet and put a magnet here, but usually I don't. I just hold this here. I just hold this here, and I use this end to anchor it. And then I just come up. Throw that back and around. You don't have to turn. I just wanted to show you everything. And so once we do that, then this part comes down. You really don't need any pins unless you want to. And if you wanted to, you can put a pin here. But what I usually do, especially if I'm in a rush, like to pray, or if I have to answer the door, or if I need to just throw on something quick to go check the mail, I just tuck it in. And depending on the fabric of your Mulfa, the tuck usually stays. I've never received confirmation of exactly what type of fabric this is, but from the way it moves and flows, I want to say it's cotton. I believe this is 100% cotton. It feels like it and it acts like it. So that's it. You can let that drape over the shoulder if you want to. Usually I don't. I kind of just throw it behind me. And that's how it looks at the back. So I think it's really pretty because you kind of have like 3 layers going on. The bottom layer, this, and then the part that you just threw over. That's what it looks like from the back. This is what it looks like from the right when you have your hands beside you. Or you can also do like this. And I think this is my favorite. have it like this. I feel like this style looks so regal. Like, I feel like I just look so put together, and all I did was just turn and wrap, right? And that's how it looks from the front with my hands down, from the left. Yeah, so that's that. And one tip or trick that I have for you, when you're wrapping, if you're not used to doing it, you want to make sure you stand a bit gap leg to wrap. That way, once you're done, you are able to walk and move. But this one is so flowy and so long, I can move very freely. Sometimes what happens is a woman might wrap too tightly and then you're walking like this, so we definitely don't want that. So make sure you have a loose wrap. And then this layer here, the second layer, I just usually let that hang. That gives a lot of freedom. You can move it around and make it look even more flowy if you choose to do so. So you can be really creative. And also, if you ever notice that at the bottom, you see what's happening here, you can see the corner of that end. If that ever happens to you, it simply means that you need to adjust your knot. So watch that disappear. I'm gonna pull this bottom layer upwards, and voila, it's gone. So what I would normally do is just undo the top of the knot, pull it tighter and up a little higher, and then double knot it again, and that gets rid of the little peek through that we just had. There we go. Voila. And there are multiple ways to wrap a mulfa. This is just my preferred, my favorite way, so I wanted to share that with you. Oh, I love it. I don't even want to take it off. All right, and since you've made it all the way through this series of Fashion Fridays, I do want to end off with a challenge. It is my Fashion It Forward challenge, where I encourage anyone who's watching to give back clothing, fashion related. A few things that you could do is grab some items out of your closet, out of your drawers, things that you no longer need, or things that you do need and things that you like, and donate it to those who are less fortunate than you. And one way that you can donate is to grab the items and just have them in your car. If you drive around to different areas, sometimes you might encounter people outside who are in need, and they might have signs up. They might be asking for specific things, but you can always ask them or offer them some clothing, right? Shirts, pants, socks, anything that they might need that comes directly from your home. So you're donating directly to those in need. You can also donate to homeless shelters, women and children's shelters, men's shelters. They are always, always, always in need of clothing. You can make things, donate to hospitals, you can donate to jails. There are so many people who are in need. So if you are someone who is blessed to have adequate clothing to where you don't have to go bare, or you don't have to wear clothing that's unclean for lack of having clothing, then just keep in mind those who might be less fortunate and those who are in greater need than we might be, and make sure that we are giving back. I will leave more suggestions and ideas down beneath the video on ways that you can participate in the Fashion It Forward challenge, and it is a secret challenge. So if you want to message me and tell me what you did, you absolutely can, but I encourage you to keep it a secret between you and our creator, because sometimes secret charity is the best charity. So thank you once again for sticking with me for my Fashion Friday series. I have no idea what I'm going to come up with next, but it is the last 10 days of Ramadan, so my family and I will be focusing on that. So you might see me here and there, but you won't see me too much until after Ramadan. So thank you so much for being here. Peace, blessings, love, and light. God be with you. Bye!